Yes, so let yourself begin just as you are in a seated posture, And maybe just take a moment to feel the weight of your body as you're sitting here. Just allowing gravity to root you down into your seat, into your yoga mat. Just sensing the heaviness of your body as you're letting go into your seat. Maybe for a moment, just sensing the position of your feet and your legs. And getting a sense of the hips and maybe inviting them to release downwards a bit more, relaxing into your seat. So the whole lower body just gravitating towards the earth, heavy, relaxed, rooted. And then from the hips upwards, from to the torso, the hands and the arms, the spine, let everything just lengthen a bit more. Lengthening the spine vertebra by vertebra, finding more of an upright position out of this rootedness. Just feeling the heart center lifted. Maybe a little bit of a brightness through your spirit as well. A brightness and an openness. Maybe even imagining that you're stretching the crown of the head upwards towards the sky. So there's that connection with the sky and the earth all at once. And just as best as you can, soften now into your seated posture. Soften and relax. Beginning at the crown of the head, moving through the forehead into the eyes. And just a sense of relaxation through the eyes and facial muscles. Loosening the jaw. Allowing the shoulders to melt in back. Kind of like ice to water. And water to gas. A lightness in the shoulders. And see if you can relax your heart center as well, along with your belly. Maybe sensing a few breaths in and out into a softening belly. Belly soft. And then in this embodied presence, see if you can bring a soft attention to your breathing. Just noticing the in-breath and noticing the out-breath. The breath finding its own natural rhythm as you're seated here in meditation. Some breaths are short, some are long. Just getting a sense for the breath, tuning in, like shining a light onto the breath. And you might want to take a few deeper and longer in-breaths to just really stretch the body open a bit more. And then complete exhalations, complete letting go with the exhales. Letting go, letting go, letting go. And then again, a nice deep and full and long in-breath, opening the whole body. And then that sense of relaxation as you breathe out completely. Feeling your whole body just being filled with life force on the in-breath and a deeper sense of letting go with the out-breaths. And then from here, we'll begin to move the body a little bit. So if your eyes were closed, you can gently open them now. And hello to Ming, who has joined us. And so on an in-breath, we're just going to lift the arms out through the side and then all the way up. The gaze can follow. And as you exhale, bring the palms together through the midline and let your hands and arms come back down. Inhaling out to the side and lifting all the way up. Exhale, coming back down towards the heart center and release. Inhaling out to the sides and up. And then exhaling back down. So we'll do this a couple more times, beginning to open and warm the body with this first movement. Allowing the movement to be guided by the breath, guided by the in-breath, and guided by the out-breath. So we'll do one more inhaling up. And exhaling, coming back down. We're going to follow and continue coming into a little twist. So inhaling all the way back up. And then as you exhale, twist over to the right side. So left hand on right knee, right hand behind you by your sit bones, by your buttocks. Inhaling back to center, reaching all the way back up. And then exhale, we'll twist over to the left side in the same fashion. Inhaling back to center, lifting the arms up high overhead. And we'll just continue to twist side to side in this way, allowing the spine to loosen for the practice, to warm and open up. Just getting a sense for the energy building in our bodies, maybe in our mind, becoming a little bit more alert and awake as we begin to open and move the body more and more in these different postures and flows. And wherever you are, we're going to do one more twist to a side. And then on the next in-breath, lift your arms back up overhead. And then as you exhale, let your right hand come down to the side onto the mat. We're going to lengthen our spine by lifting the left arm overhead for a moment. And then exhale, come into the side stretch over on the right side. So you can relax your right shoulder, have your head hang heavy over to the right, down towards the shoulder. And with each inhale here, feel your spine and your heart center lifting. And as you exhale, deepening into the side stretch. So side stretches are a beautiful way to open the heart and the lungs. So really appreciate that opening with the in-breaths and that deeper sense of relaxation with the out-breaths. And just be mindful of the position of your head. If it feels more comfortable to gaze up, that's great. If it's more comfortable to gaze down, you can try that, or just have your head hanging, just hovering above your right shoulder is fine too. Just listening to your own body to see what feels right in this moment. Deep and full breaths. And then inhale, slowly bringing the torso back to center, lifting both arms up overhead. And we'll come down to the midline for a moment, just releasing everything down through the center. Keeping the hands in front of the heart for a moment. Just see if you can tune into the aliveness of the body for a moment from the inside. Maybe sensing any tingling or vibrating. noticing the temperature, level of energy in your body, this aliveness inside of us. And then on the next inhale, lift the arms up overhead once more, gazing up momentarily. And then as you exhale, come over to the other side into that same side stretch. Really releasing your left hand into the ground and allowing the shoulder on that side to loosen. And with each in-breath, feel your side body lengthening, your heart center and your lungs opening. And as you exhale, just release more deeply into the side stretch. See if you can come to a place of relaxation in this stretch, even if it feels a little bit challenging. Keeping your sit bones firmly grounded into the mat on both sides. Just 2 more breaths here. And in inhaling, lifting the torso back up, lifting the arms overhead. And then exhaling again through the middle of the body back towards the heart center. And take a moment here to fold your hands over the heart, just tuning in to the sensations at the heart. Maybe noticing a feeling that's present right now that's showing itself. And just welcoming it all in as part of your practice. Your mood in this moment, your level of energy, it's all okay. And then release your hands. We're going to place the hands on top of the shoulders. We'll do a little bit of a fire breathing to warm the body and awaken the body a little bit more. So we're going to just swiftly turn from side to side with audible breaths. So breathing in and out of the nose. So it can sound something like this. And really go for it. You're all muted. So just really awaken the body, bring a little bit more fire into your spirit, into your being, just swiftly turning from side to side, and just keep going for a little while longer. Just a few more. And then just coming back to center, releasing the palms facing up onto your thighs, relaxing the shoulders, relaxing the eyes, and just tuning into your body from the inside out again. Feeling the sensations in the body, the aliveness. And we're going to do one more fire breathing exercise. So we're going to make fists and just sort of have them hovering above the shoulders 6 times. And again, we're going to breathe in and out of the nose audibly, swiftly in and out. So inhale, we're going to lift our arms up, spreading the fingers wide, and exhaling, coming back down. And again, as swiftly as you can with an audible sound in and out of the nose. Keep going. Feel the inner fire building, the energy building. Just a little bit longer. And then inhale, make fists in front of your belly. Hold your breath, squeeze your hands together tightly. Hold, hold, hold. Make everything tight and very tight in your body, holding the breath as long as you can. Hold, hold, hold. And then exhale, release, just palms up, having the hands resting on top of the thighs again. And just inviting the body to just feel what's present on the inside. Noticing the quality of the breath, the temperature in the body. And just sort of the energy swirling around. And just noticing how everything is coming back to just centering itself all in its natural way, coming back to a sense of balance, of equanimity in the body. And then when you're ready, please straighten your legs out in front of you. We're going to stay seated, but just now have our legs out. I'm going to just lower the screen for a moment a bit more so you can see me better. So just begin by resting your hands on your thighs, or you might even want to place them behind you about a hand length away so you can really find a nice length through the body, through the spine, drawing the shoulders back and down to really have that heart center lifted, gazing ahead of you into the space in front of you. And then on an in-breath, we're going to lift the arms up overhead. And then on an exhale, just come about a quarter of the way forward into a forward fold. Inhaling, lifting the arms up overhead once more. Exhale, we're going to come halfway forward. Inhale, lifting up. Exhaling 2/3 of the way down. And then one more time, inhale, lifting up. And then as you exhale, come into a forward fold. So here you can just allow the arms to come down wherever they feel comfortable, maybe to the outside of the legs. If you want to hold on to your toes to get a deeper stretch through the spine, that's fine as well, as long as you can keep your shoulders relaxed and your head just bowing in towards the heart center. It might be helpful here to press the backs of the thighs more down into the mat and feel your spine lengthening a bit more. Maybe taking a really deep in-breath here to feel the spine lengthening forward, the head stretching forward. And then as you exhale, just relaxing the head completely down towards the heart center. Feeling the spine lengthening with each in-breath. And just relaxing a bit more with the out breaths. Just about 3 more breaths, just to really feel that spine opening for you on the inhale and relaxing on the exhale. And then on the next in-breath, really reach your spine tall, lift your arms overhead again. And then as you exhale, hands down the midline back towards the heart center. You can relax your hands by your side body once more. We're going to prepare just for a nice core strengthening exercise from here. So we're going to actually bend into the knees and have the feet just a little bit ahead of the knees. You can hold on to the front of the knees to just take a moment to lengthen the spine again as we prepare for a version of boat pose here. So the very beginning step is just to stretch out the arms in front of you, keeping your heart center lifted and your shoulders drawn back and down. And in the next step, if you feel up to it, you can shift the weight more into your buttocks, leaning back with your hips a bit. And then if you want to do this next step, you can one after another just lift your feet off the ground. So you're leaning back a little bit more even. And if you want to go the whole way, you can stretch your legs out in front of you, keeping your heart center lifted and breathing long and deep and slow as best as you can. If you need to bend your knees a bit more, that's fine. But we'll be here for 5, 4, 3, 2, and then just hug your knees into your chest. Let yourself come back onto the ground. And we're just going to rock back and forth a few times. So if you want to have the hands behind your thighs, that's fine as well. But we're just going to give ourselves a nice lower back massage, or rather full back massage. We'll just keep doing this a few more rounds, maybe with a sense of joy building in your spirit as well, in your being. Practice doesn't have to be all so serious all the time. So just keep going a couple more times. And then we're just going to let ourselves really come back. Have your arms behind you, palms facing down, with the legs stretching up. So coming into a plow pose, just really stretching the spine out in this position. If you want to have your palms just supporting the lower back, you can do that as well, or just have them straighten out in front of you on the mat. If your toes touch the ground, that's great. If they don't, that's fine as well. And just noticing the quality of the breath in this position. It might feel a little bit more constricted or awkward, but just see if you can still keep it long and deep and smooth as best as you can. And then place your hands in your lower back, or rather place them back onto the mat, bend into your knees, and slowly let yourself come down. Bend into your knees again. We're going to roll over to one side. Just relaxing the body for a moment. You can make a pillow with one arm and just have the other hand rest by the side on the ground. And just noticing again for a moment the level of energy in the body. And then press yourself up very slowly and in your own way. We're going to come onto our hands and knees from here. So just take a moment to really just line yourself up so that your hands can be right under the shoulders, the knees right under the hips. And actually, let's bring the hands a hand length forward, so a little bit forward, not quite under the shoulders. We're just going to begin to rotate the body in one direction. So just emphasizing the sides, the front, and the back, feeling the hips and the torso rotating to the side, to the front, to the back. It's a really nice knee massage. And let this be an inner experience as much as you can. So having your focus being inwards, just feeling the body from the inside as you're moving. And we'll go a few more rounds in the other direction. And then let yourself come back to center from here. This time we're going to have the hands right under the shoulders and just letting our spine become a little bit more supple. We're going to come into a few cat and cow flows. So beginning actually this time with a cat stretch. So just releasing the head downwards, pressing the belly in towards the spine. And then as you inhale this time, you're going to come into a cow pose, lifting the chest, lifting the eyes, lifting the chin. Exhale, rounding the spine and coming into a cat stretch, releasing the chin all the way down. Inhaling into cow pose and then exhaling into the cat stretch. And just flowing a few more times in this way, really mindful of the in breath and the out breath and the way that the spine is moving. And then we're going to add to this movement. So come into your cow pose again on the in breath. And then as you exhale, come into your cat stretch and at the same time curl your toes under and lift yourself up into a downward facing dog. Inhale, release your knees back down, come into your cow pose. And then as you exhale, round your spine and come all the way down into a child's pose. So we're just doing a whole big flow. Inhaling back to tabletop, lift the chin, lift the gaze, cow pose. Curl the toes under, and as you exhale, come into a downward facing dog. Inhaling back to the hands and knees. Uncurling the toes, gaze up. Exhale, round the spine and release down into your child's pose. And we'll just keep flowing in this way for a few more rounds. Just appreciating the whole body moving and stretching now all at once. We'll just do one more complete flow, starting with the tabletop, curling the toes, coming into downward facing dog, and then all the way back down, releasing into child's pose for a few breaths. And make sure that you have your arms stretched out all the way forward. Release your buttocks into your heels, your forehead into the ground on the mat. And just breathing the whole length of the spine here. Maybe as your palms of the hands are touching down into the mat, just feel them stretching forward on the mat so that there's more of a lengthening in the spine. And as you keep that length in the arms, you can let your shoulders relax with your next out breath, relaxing the hips down towards the mat. And just a few more breaths here, breathing the whole length of the spine in and out. And as you breathe in again, come back to your hands and knees. You're going to curl the toes under once more and then exhale, come back into downward facing dog. Make sure that you really press into the whole length of the hands, into all the knuckles, the fingers, the palm, pressing the heels down towards the mat and back of you. And feeling as if there's somebody sitting down in the middle of your back so that you're really letting the chest come down towards the ground, the belly sinks. And then on an in-breath, we're going to lift the right foot up into the air as best as possible, as high as possible. And then bend into your right knee and then rotate your right hip open all the way up towards the sky. So you can gaze in between your right armpit, really stretching the right hip over to the left as best as you can. Breathing deeply and fully. And just a few more breaths here. Big, powerful, strong breaths. And then slowly rotate your heart center back over the mat. Bring your knees forward to place your right knee right behind your right hand. You can be on your fingertips here. Uncurl the back toes and just let your heart center truly lift here. Just for a couple of breaths, lifting the gaze, lifting your head up towards the sky. And then as you exhale, just walk your hands forward. We're coming into a sleeping swan, so there can be a bend at the elbows. If you want to release your head in between the elbows onto the ground, stretch the arms all the way forward if that feels good. Or even make a pillow with your arms in front of you and just relax your head onto that pillow, whatever works best for you in this moment. Deep and full breaths. Just two more here, deeply resting on your yoga mat. And as your next in-breath comes, let yourself, your torso come back up. Place your hands either side of your front knee. Curl your back toes under. And then lift yourself back into a downward facing dog. If you want to, you can bring some movement here into the knees. Just bending one knee and stretching the other heel down. Just alternately moving in this way, bringing some lubrication into the hips. This is like you're walking in place. And then ultimately find stillness again in your downward dog, pressing firmly into the whole of the hand. Let there be no bend at the elbow, and just allow your shoulders to relax back and back. It's like you're squeezing an orange in the middle of the shoulder blade there. Feeling your hips loose and your heels tending down towards the mat. And then on the next in-breath this time, lift your left leg straight up into the sky as high as you can. Bend into that knee and then stretch your left hip and leg open all the way towards the right side, gazing beyond your left armpit, pressing firmly into both hands. Deep hip opener here. Deep breaths. Just about 3 more, really stretching the hip open. And then turn your torso back to the center. Keep your leg up high. And then as you exhale, place your left knee right behind your left hand. You're going to come onto fingertips again, opening the heart center up towards the sky, lifting the chin, coming into a pigeon pose, drawing the shoulders back, maybe having the eyes closed to just feel into the pose. And then let yourself gently relax the heart center downwards, coming into the same version of sleeping swan as you took on the other side, with the arms stretched all the way forward, or making a pillow with your hands and arms. Just finding yourself resting in this deep hip opener as much as you can. And just see if you can take the deepest breaths of the practice here so far. Feeling the whole length of the breath up and down the spine. Just two more. Deeply resting, deeply turning inwards into your own heart. And then on the next in-breath, you can lift your spine tall again, lift your torso up, hands either side of the front knee. Take a moment to curl the back toes under. And then return into your downward facing dog. Again, if you wish, bringing some movement, bicycling out the legs. Just releasing any tension from the hips that might have been created there. And we're going to come into a side plank pose from here. So stay in your downward facing dog. Shift your weight into your right hand and then gently open the feet over to the left side. Heart center faces towards the camera. Press firmly into your right hand and then lift your left arm up high and stretch it forward towards the right arm. If you want to release your right knee down, that's perfectly fine. If that's a little bit too much weight on your hand, but if not, stay in your full side stretch. Keep your heart center lifted, the tips stretching towards the right hand in that direction. And we'll just be here for 5, 4, 3, 2, and release. Come back into your downward dog again. You can use your downward dog as your resting pose, or if you want to come down into child's pose for a few breaths, that's perfectly fine. I just want to give you that option. Neither one is preferable. Just whatever you feel you need to do for yourself in this moment is the right thing to do. So we'll just let the breath come back to its natural rhythm wherever you're finding yourself, downward dog or child's pose. If you were in a child pose, slowly make your way back up into a downward dog, the way we started. And just know that we're going to come into a side plank now on the other side. So slowly shift your weight into your left hand. Let your feet rotate open towards the right. And then lift your right arm up high into the air and then just draw your fingertips over to the left. Stretch the whole arm over to the left. Keep your heart center open and lifted. Your left ear relaxing down towards the left shoulder. And again, we'll be here for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Relaxing, turning, coming back into downward facing dog, coming back to the bicycle ride. Just releasing any tension from the hips. Maybe take a couple of breaths just with sound out of the mouth to release any tension. And then we'll all come down into a child pose from here, this time with our arms alongside the body, palms facing up, deeply releasing the forehead into the ground, rounding the shoulders, just relaxing everything down towards the yoga mat. And just notice the quality of the breath in this moment, the aliveness in your body, swirling of sensation and energy inside of you. And then we'll come back up onto our hands and knees. Curl the toes under from here. Return into your downward facing dog one more time. We'll just be here for one more breath. And on an in-breath, lift your left leg up into the sky again. And then exhale, bring your foot all the way forward in between your hands. So coming into a high runner's lunge from here. Make sure that you're pressing your right heel all the way down towards the mat as best as possible. And keeping your left knee aligned over the left ankle. Having your heart center lifted, your chin slightly up. Just a couple more breaths here in this runner's lunge. Keeping your eyes and facial muscles as relaxed as you can. And then we're going to pivot our back foot down into the mat. And then gently rotate your arms up, coming into a warrior two pose. And so the left toes are facing all the way forward. The right toes are pivoting in towards the left, making sure that your left knee is aligned over the ankle. And your arms are just stretching away from one another. So the left fingertips are stretching forwards, the right fingertips are stretching back. Rotating the belly button a little bit more over to the right, but letting your left knee stay nicely aligned over the ankle. And then just turning your gaze over your left fingertips. Deep and full breaths here. Just enjoying this warrior two pose. Maybe even closing the eyes to make it more of a balancing pose. And then on the next in-breath, open your left palm up towards the sky. Relax your right leg and the back of the right thigh. Inhale, lift your left arm up. And then exhale, stretch it all the way behind you as best as you can, coming into a heart center. From heart center, lift from here. And just feeling and enjoying the opening of the heart. Pressing both feet firmly into the ground. And then windmill the arms all the way forward again so that you're ending up in your downward facing dog once more. And we're just going to hold here for several breaths. Just to align our spine again. To find a peaceful movement through our breath. Reaching the hips up just a little bit higher and at the same time tending the heels down towards the ground. Feeling the breath traveling up and down the spine. And on the next in-breath, we're going to lift the right leg up behind us as far as possible and then bring your foot all the way through into that runner's lunge again. So the left Knee stays off the ground, the spine stays long. You can be on fingertips here. And just having your head straight, maybe gazing down onto the ground, feeling a nice stretch through both hips. Legs are strong, breath is deep and full. And then we're going to pivot that back foot down into the earth. Again, windmill our arms up high. So we're going to find ourselves in warrior two pose once more. So again, just taking a moment to make sure that the right knee doesn't extend out over the right ankle. The right fingertips are stretching forward. The left fingertips towards the space behind you. And again, rotating your heart center to the space in front of you, but keeping your right knee aligned over the right ankle, gazing over your right fingertips now. Just feeling as if you can send your breath all the way out to the arms, into the fingertips. Really opening up the breath through the side body, extending through the arms and hands. And ultimately feeling as if you're breathing into the whole body. And then on an in-breath, we're going to open the right palm up to the sky. Exhale, relax your left arm and hand down. Inhale, reach your right arm up overhead into a reverse warrior and really let your heart center come to be lifted open towards the sky, coming into a back bend. Deeply opening and enjoying the openness through the heart center. And see if you can even close your eyes here to challenge your balance a bit. Couple more deep breaths. And then we're going to windmill our arms forward again, return into our downward facing dog. I'm just holding here for about another 5 breaths in our last downward dog, holding it in stillness. Enjoying this full body stretch just for another 3 breaths now. And then let yourself slowly come down onto your knees. Sit your buttocks down to one side. Let your legs stretch out in front of you. And then we're going to slowly come on down onto our back bodies. We're going to begin though by having our arms forward, no elbow bend. And then just very slowly in slow motion, just release so that you can ultimately come onto your back. So engaging the muscles in the back along with this movement. And then ultimately just releasing all the way down onto your mat. You can bend your knees and hug your knees into the chest, gently rocking from side to side. And then just relax your arms down alongside the body. Lift your legs all the way up into a supported shoulder stand. We've practiced quite a few standing poses today. So just allow your shoulders to relax down into your mat and back of you. Have the soles of the feet reaching up towards the sky, and see if you can relax the body here as best as you can. If you want to take the full shoulder stand, you're welcome to, of course. But if not, just make this more, as best as you can, a relaxation pose already. If you want to bring some movement into the legs, you can maybe scissor the legs one over the other and switching, if that feels good. Or you can straighten one leg in front and then moving it back a few times, just getting some more tension in the belly, just bringing some more, maybe moving your hips by bringing, circling the legs out to the side in both directions a couple of times. And just coming back into stillness, into your supported shoulder stand for a moment longer. And then gently hug your knees back into your chest, this time holding in stillness. Let your arms come out to the side onto the ground. And then just begin to slowly let your body fall over to the left side until the knees can relax down. Your legs can relax out over to that side. And once you've reached your maximum stretch, you can turn your head over to the right side, allowing your shoulders to relax down in back of you. And just noticing the quality of the breath here. Breath breathing itself. Inhale, bring your knees up, your torso back to center. Keep your arms just as they are. And then let the legs slowly come down over onto the right side, releasing them all the way down as best as possible as you turn your head over to the left. Deep relaxation through the face and the shoulders, the hips and the legs. Just enjoying the last deep breaths here. And then inhale slowly, bringing the legs back to center, hugging the knees into the chest. Maybe this time lifting your torso and aiming the forehead towards the knees. We're going to take a nice deep in-breath here and holding the breath in as long as you can, making all the muscles in your body tight, 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 even squeezing the eyelids together, squeezing the buttocks, the arms and the hands and the feet, the legs, everything tight, tight, tight. And then when you can't hold your breath any longer, just release into your final resting pose of your choice, coming into Shavasana, coming into this pose of stillness that helps us integrate the whole practice. So try to find a way to really be fully or as fully relaxed as you can, a pose that you can hold in stillness for a few minutes. Just inviting the body to deeply relax now as you come into your final resting pose. Having the eyes and facial muscles soft, shoulders relaxing down into the mat. Sense the heart center lifted and open and tender. Your shoulders melting down into the earth behind you. And just feeling your whole body fully supported by the earth. The hips, the legs, the feet, the arms and the hands. The whole body deeply relaxed. inviting it to let go more and more deeply. And just keeping a very soft attention on the in breath and the out breath as we come into stillness and silence for a couple of minutes. Becoming aware of your whole body lying on the earth, inviting the breath to deepen once more to help awaken from this time of rest. And if you wish to wiggle toes and hands, bring some movement back into the body, maybe releasing the head from side to side, just turning it that way, opening the muscles in the neck. Maybe stretching the arms up overhead to come into a full body stretch, lengthening the spine, signaling the body that it's time to awaken again slowly. You're going to hug the knees into the chest one time more and just rock from side to side, a nice lower back massage. And as you come back into stillness at the center, you can rub your hands together, your feet together, bring some heat back into the body. And then ultimately let yourself come down over onto one side into a fetal position. And just taking a moment here to just notice how you feel. How does it feel on the inside of you? Feeling, sensations, awareness. Awareness of what's here. And then in your own way, you can find your way back into a seated posture, the way that we started earlier. And just to sit together for a moment longer with the eyes closed if you can, with your hands in front of the heart center, just acknowledging each other's presence, even if we're not in the same room. So may you have a peaceful and, as much as possible, a relaxing afternoon, staying centered inside of your own awareness, inside of your own being. May you be well and happy and peaceful and safe. Namaste.